Hello there, Cancer. This is Michele B. How is Mercury Retrograde this month going to be affecting your love life? Let's get some messages and some advice on how to handle it. Stay tuned. Okay, Cancer. Here I am at the marina in Bellingham, Washington. Memorial Day. It's freaking gorgeous. I'm loving it. Oh gosh. And you know how I love to travel around in my Charlie Bird. My bed's back here, but I got everything set up with a kitchen, and I moved my kitchen to the bed area so that I could sit up here and get this recording done and get everything out to you, because Mercury retrograde is kicking off. And what the hell does that mean? Look it up. I'm not going to go through and explain it. I don't want to spend all that time. I want to get straight to the messages. I wanted to get this one out. Basically, it means that communication is a little wonky. We're thinking a lot about the past and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised that the Wheel of Fortune came up again, because when we're talking about Mercury retrograde, we're talking about cycles. And it's the most frequent cycle, the most frequent astrological cycle besides the moon and basically that's it. Because it's the closest to the sun, so it goes around the sun the fastest. Anyway, so yeah, there's those cycles, but it's like I sense a cycle of at first being satisfied, but then feeling frustrated, feeling like you have to compete. Definitely a download in your love life of feeling like you have to. It's an inferiority complex kind of thing. Feeling that you have some kind of competition with competition with ladies from the past, or competition with boyfriends from the past, if you identify as anything else. Anyway, competition with partners from your sweetheart's partners from the past. It's not fair. What's going on here is not fair. I definitely feel it. You're satisfied sometimes, but I feel like this is them sitting happy. Like being like, yep, I got somebody who dotes on me and does everything, and I really like them a lot. But I also really, really have sweet feelings for my exes at the same time. And whenever Mercury retrograde comes around, it's like, here we go again, right? You're minding your own business, doing your own thing, and then next thing you know, you see them texting with their ex, and it's like you're the one that's insecure, right? But you're like, why don't you go get together with your ex if they're so great, right? But I'm just like still in love with them, but they don't want to be with me. What's to be done? This isn't all about you, right? That's something to remember. This is not about you. You don't have to fight it, and it's not about you. All right. This Nine of Swords reminds us that we are not alone, and everything that's happening around us, everything that's happening in our lives are happening for us, not to us. We are being reminded that it's really hard for me to clarify my logical train of thought when Mercury retrograde happens. So thank you for being patient with me. But it's everything that you're being reminded that every relationship that you have is a reflection of how you believe, how you think about yourself. An interesting thing that might happen, I'm going to pull some advice cards, but an interesting thing that might happen if you turn inward to loving yourself more, to knowing what your value is, to knowing that you deserve to be with someone that doesn't compare you to their exes, that doesn't keep dragging them back into your lives together. Because you're making your own life, right? You're not bringing up your exes. Of course you have exes. You're not bringing them back. You're not constantly pining over them. Anyway, I digress. What could happen is that you could turn your partner's attitude toward you, but it could just be all in your head, right? You're like, I don't give a shit who they're talking to, and you stop paying attention because you're doing your own thing. And it's just like, it starts being a pattern where you're just like, I'm just doing my own thing and I don't care what they're doing. And then they stop thinking about their exes. and then you don't have fights over it. This stuff's not happening where you're having to fight, you're having to compete. And if they want to be with you, they'll be with you. But the fact is, they are with you. So let's go ahead and get some advice real quick. Just some advice, how to go forward. Fundamentally, though, I'm feeling like this partnership is happening because it's a reflection of how you feel about you. Because anybody who has a certain level of self-esteem, certain level of self-love, is going to be like, I'm not interested in someone that would rather be texting with their ex than hanging out and having a good time with me, right? So there's that. Advice, it's time to stop waiting. Time to stop playing the, well, maybe later they'll feel better, they'll feel differently. Maybe later they'll change. I'm really feeling like that's not going to happen. That this is a pattern that if they are ever going to get out of that pattern, it's not because of anything you've done, right? This is you waiting and staying, like in a self-imposed waiting and staying place, and this is you being like, yeah, if you're not going to change, you're not going to change. And I really need to be with someone who's in the present moment with me and not hanging out with their exes and their memories. And maybe they'll think you're a jerk for breaking up with them. They're like, why do you want to break up? And I can see you doing the tape loop of explaining to them why in your head before you even actually do the breakup or like, set your boundary about that. I can see you doing the tape loop of like, I'm going to seem like a selfish, possessive jerk when I say this. I'm feeling like you don't even have to explain yourself why. Because either they're going to be doing it or they're not. Even they think it's a rational thing for you to feel that way, or they don't. And you are entitled to how you feel. So what you got to do is just be like, I'm just moving on with my life. This isn't working for me. If it's not working for you, it's not working for you. If it is working for you, you got to adjust your attitude, right? I think you'll decide the right thing, whatever it is. You are being guided. This card is here because you are being guided to level up in how you feel about you. And that might mean not hanging out with people who would rather be hanging out with their exes. Okay, this is where I leave off. Thank you for being with me. I love you. Check out your weekly messages. Your monthly messages are posted for June. You might hear something in there you want to hear. I'll catch you later. Love you, Cancer.